From the Podwires newsroom at joinpodwires.com.
It's Tuesday, December 2nd. I'm Peter Sherry. Coming up, the UK's biggest premium podcast offering just got a massive video upgrade, and it's changing how creators make money on YouTube. Plus, Dr. Phil is building a podcast empire that airs on actual television. This working relationship is going to be interesting. And Spotify makes it even easier for advertisers to buy podcast ads programmatically, because apparently $4 billion in annual ad spend isn't enough. Those stories and more. Let's get into it. Acast, the world's largest independent podcast company, launched Monday the UK's biggest premium audio and video podcast offering, partnering with Little Dot Studios to transform how creators monetize YouTube. We're talking over 20 of the UK's most commercially successful podcasts, including shows from Fearne Cotton, Peter Crouch, and Jake Humphrey, delivering a combined 45 million monthly plays across audio feeds and YouTube channels. Here's why this matters. Acast is believed to be the first podcast monetization company in the UK to enable premium, dynamic, targeted video ads on YouTube as a new revenue stream. That's not just pre-roll ads. This is programmatic video advertising at scale, unlocking significantly higher CPMs for creators who've been leaving money on the table. Josh Woodhouse, Acast's UK managing director, said Monday the company now reaches 8 out of 10 podcast fans weekly in the UK, and has created the definitive single-point solution for brands and creators seeking measurable impact. The partnership with Little Dot Studios adds their 11 billion monthly YouTube views to Acast's inventory, including channels from Team GB, the England Cricket Board, and Gordon Ramsay. The beta program launches in January for select UK creators, where Acast already commands roughly 60% of podcasting ad spend. Eligible UK creators get expanded access later in 2026, with other markets following. Dr. Phil McGraw is launching a multi-platform podcast network in partnership with Podcast One. And here's the twist. The content doesn't just live as podcasts. It broadcasts on his national TV networks, including subscription-based Envoy TV and the new Envoy Fast channel that launched last month on Samsung TV Plus. Why it matters? This is a scalable content model that flips the traditional media playbook. Instead of TV shows getting podcasted, podcasts are getting televised, reaching 110 million home-connected devices from day one. Live One CEO Rob Ellen called Dr. Phil Monday one of the very few true media icons whose work helped shape this still fast-expanding business. The network debuts later this month with all-new daily Dr. Phil podcast, plus true crime content, and shows from the Podcast One roster, including Adam Carolla and Jordan Harbinger. McGraw brings 27 million social media followers to the table, including 6.4 million on YouTube. The independently produced Dr. Phil podcast, which launched in 2018, becomes part of the Podcast One lineup as part of the deal. Spotify is deepening its partnership with global ad platform Adform, adding direct integration into the Spotify Ad Exchange that launched in April. Advertisers can now plan and activate campaigns directly within Adform's platform, accessing Spotify's audio, video, and display formats, including podcast inventory that was added to the exchange in July. This matters because programmatic buying is where podcast advertising is heading. The integration gives advertisers quicker audio activations at lower cost, according to the company's joint announcement Monday, while making it easier to reach Spotify's massive user base at scale. Brian Berner, Spotify's global co-head of advertising, said Monday the expanded partnership gives advertisers more flexibility and control to connect with the millions of Spotify fans who tune in every day. Adform's Vicky Foster sees it as capitalizing on how digital audio is rapidly reshaping how brands connect with people. The proof? Spotify said this summer it saw a 64% increase in the number of advertisers using the exchange since its April debut. That's significant momentum in a market projected to hit $4.46 billion in podcast ad spending this year. Audience Lift unveiled Monday a new API that promises to revolutionize how creators, networks, and agencies manage and scale audience-building initiatives. The integration lets podcast hosting platforms, networks, and production companies embed the Audience Lift growth engine directly into their own dashboards. Why this matters? Marketing agencies managing multiple podcasts or YouTube channels can now launch and monitor campaigns at scale using AI-driven automation. No more jumping between platforms. The API allows programmatic campaign creation with real-time analytics on reach, conversions, audience characteristics, and growth velocity. Robert Tuchman, co-founder of Amaze Media Labs, said Monday the goal has always been to give podcast creators the opportunity for their content to be discovered and to make audience growth predictable and repeatable. Brett Sklar, co-founder, added, "The API allows our partners to integrate our technology into their workflows, delivering more value, reducing manual processes, and scaling smarter." The system supports flexible campaign configuration for both audio podcasts and YouTube, with audience targeting, budget controls, and secure authentication. Enterprise clients can run hundreds of campaigns simultaneously. And last but not least, Sony Music Entertainment launched Monday a new true crime podcast series revisiting the 2011 death of Dominique, or Neek, Laley. Watching You, hosted by storyteller Jonathan Hirsch, examines the disturbing surveillance that shaped Neek's final months before she was found dead in Woodland near her suburban Georgia home. The investigation revealed her husband, Matt, had been secretly monitoring the household for years through hidden cameras placed throughout the property. The series features never-before-released audio from thousands of those recordings, along with interviews with all three of Neek's daughters and her sister. Hirsch called it Monday a story of an obsession with the darkest outcome possible, adding she was stalked and manipulated in her home, a place that should feel the most safe. Watching You is available across major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher, with all episodes also available on The Binge for subscribers. Tomorrow, we'll be watching how the Acast beta program rolls out in January and whether other podcast companies follow their lead on YouTube monetization. That video-first strategy, it's not going away. With YouTube capturing 1/3 of weekly podcast listeners in the US, creators who aren't thinking about video are leaving serious money on the table. That's your Podwires Rundown. I'm Peter Sherry. See you tomorrow with 5 more things.
That's your wrap. Want the inside track on podcasting? Join podwires.com is your next stop. Subscribe to the newsletter for the latest trends and tap into the marketplace to connect with jobs, creators, and brands shaping audio's future. Don't just listen, get involved. Head to joinpodwires.com today.